If you want to see the sunshine, you have to weather the storm. I am not afraid of storms, for I'm learning how to sail my ship. Sometimes the Lord calms the storm. Sometimes He lets the storm rage and calms His children. Hello everyone, my name is Angel, and this is Have Faith, Let It Begin. Like I've stated before, things happen, and this episode is regarding the flood that was in my basement. Welcome to Have Faith, Let It Begin. Have faith, let it begin. Hello everyone, my name is Angel, and welcome to another edition of Have Faith, Let It Begin. Well, if you watched Twitter and you saw the live feed, then you know what I'm about to discuss. Also, you heard the introduction. Well, then let me walk by what happened this past Friday. I was at work, and my wife called me, and originally, she didn't call me, she texted me. She said, "We have a problem." And originally I'm thinking, oh my goodness, it's time. It wasn't that. She told me that when she got home and opened the bathroom door, there was water inside our bathroom, meaning on the floor. We had sprung a leak, a flood, so to speak. The toilet had overflowed on its own. Thankfully, the water was clean. I'm battling rain right now as I drive, so you're going to hear the windshield wipers. So I told her, okay, how bad is it? She said, there's a puddle, it's a lot of water. I said, I'm on my way home. I got home, and I got was preparing to get the wet vac, which is the vacuum that will suck up water. When I got home, she was already on her hands and knees, and she cleaned up the water. Now, in the back of my mind, I knew that water has to go somewhere. So I had a feeling that it was definitely leaking into the basement. I quickly said to her, well, after we're done with this, I've got to get in the basement. Now, my wife had a prearranged meeting or plans with her girlfriends that they do every once in a while. They have like a dinner, and she wanted to cancel, and I said no. I said, go and have a good time. Let me take care of this. And I didn't want her to have any more stress. She's pregnant. She's due any day now up until the 20th. So I said, you go and I'll take care of it. I opened up the basement, went downstairs, and there was a lot of water. I would say, puddle type of water, but because there's so much of it and it's all over and you got things everywhere, and thank goodness we're neat people, and thank goodness a year ago I was able to convert boxes into bins. So really, ultimately, not much got ruined. And look how God works, everybody. Because of this overflowing of the toilet and the leaking into the basement, we discovered a problem. There was mold in the corner of the basement. Thank God for the leak. Thank God for the flood. Because I would have probably not discovered this until it would have been really bad. So my parents came by. I was able to call my plumber. I call him my saving grace, and he's an angel. His name is George, and he's an amazing person. I'm going to actually put in the description his company, because I think he deserves to get more business out of it, because he was he came in moment's notice. He checked the traps, he checked the main sewer line, and there was no backlog or anything wrong with it, but enough to know that we eventually have to change the pipes a little bit and think about future plans with the piping. Why am I telling all of you this story? Why did I reach out to everybody on Twitter to tell you we were having a flood? Because it was the first time in my life that while I was battling a brand new storm that I could not predict, and it came so quick, I was at peace. I was at peace with God. I was at peace as a whole. I have felt that with this show and with the way my life has been going, especially with all of you in my life, I felt closer and closer to God. And I believe that God was with me. I believe God purposely put me in a position to discover a bigger problem than what I thought initially was. So my parents came over and we cleaned out the area and we took the mold out, and we were able to fix that problem. I had to leave the fan on and the air, the air, so that we can air out any smell and dry out everything that we had, with the notion that the next morning I would have to come back down and continue to put Clorox and bleach with water on the mold area, because that's how you kill mold. You have to keep attacking it. So my wife came home later on that evening. She got into the shower, came out of the shower, and that's when we discovered a new problem. She had a tick on her. I was able to remove the tick, and we had to call the OBGYN and the primary care, and luckily for her, the tick did not get inside of her skin, and it did not do any damage that we know of as of right now. So I'm asking for all of you out there to continue to pray for my wife as she battles these next couple of days, to hope that nothing comes about the little bite mark on her skin, and that we don't have anything along the lines of Lyme disease to worry about. My wife said to me, what else is going to happen? And I said to Rachel, I said, listen, you have to have faith. Things happen for a reason. We have to be positive. The doctors all called back and told us not to worry at this time, and we're leaving it in God's hands. The next morning, when I woke up and went to the basement after Rachel went to work, thankfully, by the way, it was my weekend off, so I was able to be home and work through the night and through the days to get this all completed. Saturday morning, I woke up, went to the basement. It smelled just like I left it, bleach and water, but I discovered an issue that I thought was another problem. Here's another issue. There was a puddle near the foundation, which led me to believe, which my dad had discovered that night before, perspiration in the corners. But we assumed it was just leftover water. Well, it looks like I may have a leak in the foundation. Another issue comes up. Why am I telling you this whole story in detail? We all battle storms. We all encounter problems that just can come up and sneak up. It is at that moment, I believe, you have to pray and thank God for the good days as well as the bad ones. God will be with you no matter what. And I believe He was with me and guided me through this weekend. I had other angels that came into my life for this weekend and actually and reached out. I had friends of mine from old jobs that looked out to me. Ian asked me if he needed help. June asked me if I needed help. My viewers were asking me for offering me prayer. Brian was there for me, even though he's battling his own storms. And a neighbor of ours, that's my brother's neighbor, but he's a family friend, his name is Rod, was available to help me and guide me and keep me on the right path and assist me with finishing up my other projects, which is my security cameras that I installed in the back part of my house. And he did it in the middle of the night when it was cold and freezing. And I thank him and Justin for coming over and doing the job. When we all battle storms, that's when your friends really step up. That's when you realize who is around you. My parents continue to come by. Friends that hardly even really know me stepped up to the plate. Old friends reached out. And when you think things can get any worse and they get a little bit more challenging, you just reach out and you pray to God and you thank Him. I'm happy to tell you that so far nothing has come about with the tick bite, and I feel that we have made the turn. And I just wanted to share that with all of you. No matter how bad a flood may seem, no matter how deep water can rise, no matter how backed up into a corner you may feel you get into, when you have God on your side, nothing, and I mean nothing, can steal your joy. And that's all I wanted to talk to you about today. I ask for prayers from all of you. And as you all battle your storms, know this: none of us are perfect. We all battle storms together, and we just all deal with them differently. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Remember to have faith and let it begin.